Recorder teacher. Okay, so I want to talk about me.
Hi, Misha. Who's Misha?
Okay, you've said the name 4 times.
Okay, go ahead.
So I grew up a Seventh-day Adventist, and Seventh-day Adventists have their own prophet, just like Mormons have Joseph Smith, who they believe got special plates in the Book of Mormon from God.
Right.
Well, Misha is Michelle from Belgium. Hey, Michelle.
So, Michelle from Belgium. He's one of
Michelle
our friends.
Engelbrecht.
Yeah, I can't say the names too.
Sorry.
I can't pronounce it, but yeah, I know who it is.
Okay, so Ellen White, who's like the prophet and stuff.
Ellen White. Can I just interrupt for 1 second?
Yeah.
Folks, here, if you're wondering if someone's really a prophet, if they have an Anglo first and last name, like Ellen White or John Smith or whatever, Joseph Smith, Ellen White, chances are that's not a real prophet, okay? Because prophets usually have names like Yeshayahu, right? Or Yechezkel, or
Muhammad.
Get out of here. They usually have names they have over-the-top Jewy names, okay? And you can't pronounce them, and they're in Hebrew, okay? Like Ovadia and Zephaniah, right? Someone comes along and they go, "Hi, I'm a prophet. I'm Ellen White, Joe Smith, Bill Williams. I'm Prophet Bill Williams." Chances are they're not at the level of Yechezkel. Okay, so that's just something. That's your first clue that we've entered into a falsehood. Okay, so just go ahead from there. Just wanted to get that out there.
Okay, so I was taught that she would get these revelations from God and that her books were inspired by God. And then I grew up, when I was a teenager, I found that she'd rampantly plagiarized other people's works and not given credit for it. And also that all her visions, she supposedly had all these visions from God. They always came after the church had decided some important piece of doctrine. And then she would have a vision shortly thereafter confirming whatever the church decided. So, so I have that. So now I'm into Alexander technique.
Okay.
And there's a foundational story of Alexander.
And his name is what, Alexander?
Frederick Matthias Alexander.
Frederick. Okay. Again, here we're going into the Frederick. We're going into the Anglo names. Is he a prophet?
No.
Oh, okay. Forget it.
So he was a reciter in Sydney, Australia, and he was born in 1869. And in 1892, he started having voice trouble. And when he would try to speak in front of a loud hall where there was no PA system and it was filled with rowdy tin miners, Australians can be pretty rowdy, he would try to project his voice to fill the hall, and the more he would strain, the more damage he would do to his voice, and he'd tend to lose his voice a lot. So this is the story that almost every Alexander technique teacher learns to tell, and the story goes as thus. Alexander would go around to different doctors with his voice trouble, and they weren't able to help him. So finally one doctor says, "Why don't you just rest your voice for 2 weeks and then try to perform?" So Alexander rested his voice for 2 weeks, got out to recite, and halfway through he lost his voice once again. Okay. So he had one clue to what was going on, according to this story. That is that his friends would hear him gasping for breath.
Oh, yeah.
When he was reciting.
I'm listening to you. I'm just getting one of these.
Okay. So, according to this story, he sat himself down in a room in front of this triptych mirrors. That's like mirrors that show all the way around, so you can see what you're doing. And he noticed that as he would get up to recite, he would tip his head back, compress his neck, hunch his shoulders, and his feet would grip the floor, and his whole torso would tighten and compress.
Okay.
And so as he learned to let go of that and to instead think his directions, then he was able to speak and to recite without losing his voice. Now, from a historical, scholastic, academic point of view, that didn't happen. According to this one, the one historical look at F.M. Alexander by an academic historian is called The First 43 Years of the Life of F. Matthias Alexander by a guy in Holland, Jerome Staring. And he makes the point that instead what happened is that FM went to various voice teachers and learned from them, and he combined what he learned from various voice teachers with what he read in various books on voice production, and then he assimilated that knowledge, and he started teaching others. So here once again I have like the leader of my group. It's like found out to be this tremendous plagiarizer, because F.M. Alexander wrote 4 major books, and even in all his articles, he never credited other people for his ideas. He never credited anyone else for any good idea. It was always, I came up with this. So I think the technique works. I'm not sure to what extent he made any original discoveries, but he was able to call good ideas from other people, put his name on it, and sell it. And now I am teaching what is called the Alexander technique. But
can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
What does that have to do with the lead-in about how some groups have their own prophets? What does that have to do with it?
Well, FM was the leader of this group, and he plagiarized his essential ideas, just like Ellen White plagiarized her stuff. So she had a whole church, and it developed from her teachings, thinking that she had these original genius insights. Instead, she was just taking them from other people and not giving credit. The Alexander teachers typically regard F.M. Alexander as having these original insights of genius into how the human being works. And then they teach this story that I was just telling you, that while all the doctors couldn't figure it out, F.M. Alexander was able to figure it out. He had these original insights of genius. Well, it turns out F.M. did not have these original insights of genius. He just culled them from other people around him, and he was just more successful at packaging and selling them to the world. And similar with Ellen White, in the religion which I was raised,
it's like with you, like on your blog, you don't have anything interesting or new to say, but you have the links to things, and you post the links to things who are interesting. So you're like a portal to things that are interesting. Everybody goes, "Oh, Luke, you're the savior of our generation." But the truth is, all you're doing is posting links. That's what they confuse. That's what they confuse.
Right.
With.
They think I'm a prophet.
Right.
They think I'm a moral leader.
Right.
And I'm just a blogger posting links.
Right. Okay.
So I'm glad we settled that.
By the way, a Jewish Republican is a guy named Brett, and he's a big fan of our show. He was in the what's that word? He was in our fan club page asking questions. He's a serious guy. Brett.
Okay, I'm waiting for him
Brett.
to ask a serious question.
No, he already asked them. I think he's spent. He doesn't have any good ones left.
Okay, so do you have any other thoughts before we proceed to the?
Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah.
Your name came up.
Yeah.
In conversation this week.
Okay.
What are you looking for?
Don't worry. Finish your thought. Don't get distracted.
Your name came up.
Okay.
I was in the bank,
Okay.
and there was a guy in the bank, right? And I was standing like in line with the guy at the bank, right?
Yeah.
And the guy said, "Hey, you're still doing those shows with Luke Ford?"
Yeah.
And he knows you was Luke Ford,
Okay.
and he's a funny guy. I just
Okay.
want to say he's a funny guy.
Okay.
Yarmulke.
Right.
He still has a beard left.
Right.
Obviously, he's not going to Alexander
Just sell it
training.
out.
Yeah, he's not selling it out. And I go, "Yeah, I'm still doing it." He goes, "Oh, I haven't checked in about 6 months." He goes, "I gotta go check that stuff out." And I go, "So you know, how did you find it?" And he goes, "Oh, because I was always going over to like Luke's blog." "Oh, okay." And I go, "How do you know Luke?" He goes, "Well, I live here. I know people." I'm like, "Okay." And he davens at a Chabad
Okay.
that you got thrown out of.
Okay.
And I go, "Oh, did you know him when he got thrown out of your Chabad?" He goes, "Dude, I was there." And he identified to me the name. I don't know if I should say it.
Don't say the names of the people.
And he identified to me the name of the guy who threw you out.
Uh-huh,
And I didn't know up until that moment who that I know who that guy is. And I didn't know that guy was involved in it at all. It never occurred to me that guy could possibly be involved in this. And the guy was laughing. He said that was like the funniest thing. Is when that guy, who I know who that guy is.
Why is it so funny?
And he just started laughing. He said it was hilarious.